First thing we're going to jump into is from December 6th or December 8th, 2005. And this comes from a mainstream news agency. Bill may renew U.S. weather control efforts. After a brutal year of hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and droughts, lawmakers are looking for ways to beat Mother Nature. So this bill initially planned to set aside $10 million for 10 years to enable researchers to come up with ideas to control the hazards of weather or provide benefits like resource management. Let me tell you, there's a lot more than 10 million. We have trillions of dollars missing that go into these geoengineering programs, these weather warfare that's going on across the whole world. One more article from Fox News from July 27th this year. Stormbreaker, powerful bomb penetrates bad weather, spells bad news for bad guys. So they had to design rockets to come through all the weather warfare. And that's exactly what this is for. All right, guys, we're going to start off here with the Mimic map. We got all kinds of crazy stuff here. We're looking at the Morse microwave imagery. This is the rivers of the sky, our number one resource as humans. But we can see a beam being shot off of South Africa and then going down to the Antarctica, and then it beams up here and it blows apart the weather system. And then over on the, let me zoom in on this a little bit, over here looking at Typhoon Man, who this thing at one time was like a category 6 typhoon. Now we see these crazy beams being shot over to it, and then all of a sudden it takes a hard right turn. So definitely manipulation there. Let me see if I can move this over. We have our beams, kind of like a radio signal going from South Africa down to Antarctica and then up to blow away the storm system. And we also have beams over here by Hawaii. We got tons of beams going on over there. Let that run through. Look at that. But let me show you some of the weapons that could be making these beams. So I'm going to take you over here to climateviewer.org. This is a design by Jim Lee. You can report geoengineering here. This is one heck of a tool right here. We're going to have him on the show here tomorrow or the next day. So I've already talked to him, but he knows how to use this much better than me. But I'm going to show you how to do it. You just click Add Maps. So right now we click the geoengineering and weather modification. Now we're going to add a few things to this map. Let me just kind of scroll down here. There's faster ways to get to it, but we want to put on the directed energy lasers, particle colliders, and gravitational wave detectors. We want the ELF, ULF, and VLF transmitter sites. We want HARP on here. Now the cloud seeding generators, oh, that's in Grand Mesa. We want the iophonic heaters worldwide. We definitely want that one on there. The Project High Altitude. Go ahead and put the Super Dual Aurora radar. Let me kind of go back up through here and make sure I got everything I want. Well, I haven't seen that. I may have to look into that when I get a little more time. So we got the iophonic heaters. What I'm looking for is the Antarctic stuff. Let's go to the atmospheric sensors and EMF sites. Let's go ahead and put the Antarctic Research Base and Cold and Desolate Places map on. Like, there's so many, I can't even put all this stuff on here because it will just clog the map up because there's so many weather control devices out there. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I got everything I need. Here's some low frequency arrays, long frequency arrays, very large arrays. All right, we'll start out with this. So once you get what you want, then it'll have this thing over here where you can take them off and on. But let me zoom out. Now, you can use the 2D map. You just click up here and it'll take you to the 2D map. We wanted to kind of show you down here where we're getting a lot of these beams emanating from. You can come down here and click on these, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. Station, what do we got here? Here we go. Here's a big old antenna array. So there's plenty of stuff down here that they use to control the weather. But a lot of times where you see these beams, let me get rid of some of this stuff and we'll just put on the high frequency arrays. Go ahead and take off the very large arrays and the very long baseline arrays. Let's take out the low frequency. We go take off the super dual aurora. Now I just want I want the Isophonic heaters worldwide. And I mean, look at all these VLF transmitters. But let's go ahead and take them off. So that's going to open the map up a little bit. Now we're looking, let me get rid of this so we can see it better. Now right now we're looking at directed energy lasers, particle colliders, and gravitational wave detectors. And then we're looking at the Isophonic heaters worldwide. So let me scroll out. Now when we go back and look at where Florence was started over here, right here we have an advanced HF Isophonic heater. And this is exactly where they were dropping the aerosols from the C-130s, and then they just kept moving their spraying operation right on up all the way to the target. And then when we looked at the Mimic map, we seen they could triangulate between all these systems. Take a look down here in South America. You think HAARP's big? This is much bigger than HAARP, and people don't even know about it. This is down in Peru. And this thing's 4.5 megawatts, 49.92 megahertz. This place is massive. Look at that. So anyway, just wanted to show you there's plenty of things out here to help control the weather, and it's worldwide. It's not, just the big countries. They're everywhere. There is a weather war for sure going on. We prove it almost daily. Let's jump into some other maps. Now, before we jump into the maps, here's a link I'm going to leave in the description box about a DARPA whistleblower, and it's about the National Solar Observatory in Sunspot. And he pretty much said this thing was hacked by China, kind of like with the scalar waves, like HAARP technology. He sounded pretty convincing, but I'll leave this link, see what you guys think. Here we are over at weather.cod.edu, the College of DeVry page. We're looking at the last 24 hours of NEXRAD. We can see they still have this Florence system parked over there using these NEXRADs. These are like mini HAARPs, and a lot of them are getting this upgrade. It's a multi-omnidirectional, basically mini HAARP arrays. These definitely control the weather. They send out frequencies and RF, low frequency, high frequency, and they can go into a mode, a searchlight mode. And what that is, there's actually regulations where they can only have this beam being shot for like 5 minutes, sometimes 7 minutes. But we can spot these things sometimes for hours, and these things will heat up whatever they're aiming at, which can cause the weather to change. These are completely controlled devices for the weather. You can see them emanate, they pulse, and this is not the sun. Your local weatherman will tell you that's the sun coming through, but that's just not the case. So we went ahead and loaded the last 96 hours. And then we're going to kind of zoom in. We can see these things pulsing up and down. We have some searchlight modes going on over here off the southern California. They don't want any kind of rain getting over there, so they're beaming it out. I think we need to expand this, get in this a little bit deeper. Look at all these things just dancing around. Definitely controlling that, keeping it there, but let's get in a little bit closer. So here we are looking at the 1 kilometer NEXRADs, and you can see this is perfectly centered with the hurricane. And when you put all of them on here, when this thing finally starts to move, it's going to go from one to the next to the next. I mean, there's no denying what they're doing. So let me get this to load, and then we'll animate it. Yeah, it'll take this minute. I'm going to have to pause this. All right, so here we are, completely zoomed in. This is the 1 kilometer, and this is the 96-hour loop. We can see the searchlight mode is going off from a NEXRAD site. This, you can see this strange where these storms are just keep on firing up. That's the radius of the NEXRAD. Now this thing is just being completely controlled. Let's put on the watches and warnings. Now they're flooding this place out big time in certain areas, and that's completely controlled. Also, Texas is getting flooded pretty bad right now too. Now here we are over at the tropical cyclone page, the tropic.ssec.wisc.edu, and here we're going to take a look at, we're looking at all the systems out here, but we're going to just take a quick look at Typhoon Manhoot. This thing is a monster. It's done some major damage, but we'll take a look at this. So it looks like it's going to be down to a 2 and then a 1 before it hits Japan. Now, if you don't think they modified this, they sure did. We watched it. They were spraying all the way from Japan all the way out into the other oceans, the Sea of Japan. Steered just like Florence. But yeah, this was a monster. All right, so we're going to jump into the world view. And now I just got a blue screen for the 3rd video in a row, halfway through the video, and they gave me the old blue screen. I lost a couple of the links. I'll have most of the links in the description, other than maybe some of the news articles. But we definitely have a spraying operation out here off the coast of California, big time. Plus, I had people telling me they were spraying out here, and this is the same place we seen the beam, exact same place we seen the beam coming off the NEXRAD. Look, we got a heavy-duty sprayer. Now, is this for fire suppression, or is this to keep the fires going? Like, at this point, we cannot tell, because it's madness what's going on out here. They're burning this place out for a new pipeline or something. Agenda 21, the mega cities, the mega highway. Let's go ahead and click the layer, zoom in, see what else we can see. Yeah, they're definitely bombarding. That almost looks like a black chemtrail, but big X in the sky. Here's that same, that could be fire suppression. It's got a little bit of a different tint to it, but we'll be able to know tomorrow if this blaze is like 10 times bigger, then we'll know. It looks kind of weird, like the water's smoking. And we got another fire over here. It looks like a pretty heavy-duty fire. If that's a fire not spraying, it's hard to tell on that one. I don't know if this is going to load all the way. Now, I don't see these ships out here. No ships. Where'd they go? Always got to wonder what they're, you know, what are they setting up for? Been finding some strange stuff on this Mimic map when it loads for me. Whoa, that's kind of weird looking. Take a look at this. This looks like some kind of lizard person. And there's his hand with a middle finger. Here's his face, this little thing on his head. Man, that's pretty weird looking there. Yeah, there's some kind of matrixing. But yeah, sometimes I wonder if they do this on purpose, but man, that looks like, or it could be two things looking at each other, and this thing has horns. But look at the 90-degree lines. To me, that looks like some kind of reptilian or a goat or a fish face with a goat horn, or I don't know. You could make out a lot of weird stuff in these things, but I'm definitely not seeing the ships unless my It's just not loading good enough for me. Now that's a weird looking cloud formation there. That's definitely getting some microwaves for sure. Look at these microwave clouds. Completely being zapped. Man, there's some weird cloud formations out here. I mean, to me, these all look kind of like, they're like signs, man. There's a pretty good spraying operation. Still not seeing the boats. So they must not be setting up, or maybe they've already set up for the next system. Yeah, my internet's not running real good. So we'll be pause this for a minute. Now when we're zoomed way out like this, if you kind of remember back on the NEXRADs, all the NEXRADs that were pulsating, you notice these real small, fine looking clouds. These are from the microwaves. These are from the frequencies, and they line up perfectly. So they're all, everybody's getting zapped right now. So if you're feeling a little strange, that's probably why. And they're definitely still spraying into this backside. They still have a mass spraying operation going all the way down. Back down where they started, down off the Leeward Islands. Still a mega spraying operation. But it looks like they've let up a little bit over the Midwest. You know, without the ships being out there, maybe they're going to give us a couple-day break from the aerial assault on us. We'll just have to see. Well, that's a fat one there. Big old fat line. So we got some spraying off the Madagascar. Almost a perfect square formation cloud. Yeah, this weather warfare is going there. We still got a huge dust off the Saharas. See, with all this in the air, that should keep hurricanes from forming. It, you know, it kind of knocks them down. Looks like France is getting bombarded. So France is definitely getting hit with some aerosols. Definitely up here by London, North France, Ireland. The UK is getting completely waxed with aerosols. Now, one thing I noticed, there's no aerosols being sprayed up here. This is usually a main target. Almost daily we can see them spraying up there. Today they're not. That's the first break I've seen up here in weeks. So they're going to continue to keep this park, and it'll probably just slowly drift up. Then we got this flooding rain down here, more spraying. All right, guys, so we're going to be ending here at the Worldview. We're going to take a look at the polar vortex winds to see if they are getting ready to start the flip. Nope, not yet. It's got to be getting here pretty quick. Go ahead and take a look at the jet stream. So it looks like the upper jet stream winds are still being bypassed over the United States. Well, they're coming up over California. And there's some coming from the Arctic, kind of merging in together, and then we're starting to get a trough. Let's go ahead and go down to surface winds. See, our last few storms are spinning away, but this one just is staying in the same spot. Gotta wonder why. That's because they're making it stay in one spot. It's the only storm on the planet right now parked in one area, Just spinning and spinning and spinning. Now you may notice I got some a watermark on this video. I've had 4 or 5 channels take my video and then make it look like it's their video, and then they didn't even have no link back to my video. And I don't care if people use this information. The whole point is to get this out far and wide. But and all I ask is just to send a link back to where the original channel is. I always use links for other people's stuff if I use their stuff. So I didn't file no report on them or anything. There were several channels that did it. But, well, that's pretty crazy. But it'd be nice if just send a link back our way. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and check a few more things here. Let's go ahead and check the, let's go ahead and check the sea surface stuff. So we got a few waves there. Let's go over here and take a look at that. So it's a good thing that's still not a category 5. We're looking at 46-foot waves, 44, 45, 45.8. So definitely some big time waves there. I wonder if I could put this on a flat map and we get a little better look at it. Let's go ahead and take the sea surface temperature anomalies. Get rid of this and this. Just that way we can kind of look at it and see if there's any kind of El Nino forming. We'll go ahead and take a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. Get rid of that. Look how hot it is up in Alaska. And then now there's a weird spot up here that's pretty warm. We're talking at 2.7 degrees, but then right next to it is minus 2.9. Okay, we already looked at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the COSC. Get rid of that so we can look. A lot of fires or volcanoes or something going off there in South America. Keep hitting the wrong button. Let's check the carbon dioxide concentration at the surface. Nothing really off the charts here. There's the sulfur dioxide at the mass. See, now I'm starting to get tired, so check the aurora, see if it does anything. It's got a little bit of aurora going on. Alright guys, so it looks like I'm about done for the night. So I'm going to keep trying to dig into all this stuff, keep trying to get out the information. Make sure you guys get this shared out there. Thanks to everybody out there that sends me articles and the videos. And if you want to send me stuff to look into, just send it to agwnnews@gmail.com. Sometimes I won't reply, but I'll definitely be reading them. And then some of them I'll do stories on. But anyway, everybody, God bless. We'll keep on fighting this fight till I can't fight no more. Anyway, much love, everybody. Be safe out there.